Hi, I'm Ian for the 6th time tonight, talking through module resolution changes in the last 3 versions of TypeScript. This one's 5.2, and a breaking change down at the bottom of the announcement that you may have missed, but it is important, and if you hit this, you may wonder why. So what are these settings that we're talking about? Module controls the module system that TypeScript is using for your program. And it controls the type of JavaScript that's going to be emitted. This could be UMD, CommonJS, system, ES modules, Node.next. Like these are the options. There's more. It supports a lot of different modules. And they recommend Node.next for modern Node.js projects, whether you're shipping ESM or CJS. Like it supports both. So that's usually what you're going to want to use if you're making a library that's going to run in Node. Module resolution, on the other hand, the default there sort of depends on what you've chosen for your module. Look at the docs to see what they actually are. But this is the strategy TypeScript's going to use to resolve the modules. Like, how is it going to find the types when you do an import statement? Again, like they recommend using Node.next or Node 16. And a note here, if you're using Node, they actually, I think, have renamed that now to Node 10 to make it clear that this is old Node. You probably don't want to use that in any kind of new projects. And if you're using a bundler, big surprise, use the bundler option. And there are some talks from Michigan TypeScript that you can watch for more details on these. There's a deep dive into module resolution itself, and then a talk I just gave earlier tonight on the bundler option if you're curious about that or haven't seen it before. So what has changed in 5.2? So previously, you could sort of mix and match these module and module resolution settings, even though they are very closely related. You could sort of say, oh, I want to write Node.next as my module system, maybe so that I can get supports for like exports and imports maps or some other things. But I'm shipping CommonJS, so I'm going to use my module resolution set to CommonJS. But that can actually create invalid Node.js files, right? So if you're using Node.next, like if you create a .cts file, that's how you make CommonJS files, right? Or if you use a .ts, you can just leave your type unset in your package.json or set it to CommonJS, and then it'll create CommonJS. Conversely, if you want to create ESM, you can use .mts or set your type to module, and it'll create ESM. So you don't really need to change your module resolution setting to like be what you want to make. But now, so if you do mix and match them, TypeScript itself will error. And really, like, you probably want to just either use Node.next for both of them or just leave it unset as your module resolution, because that's the default if you choose the module system of Node.next. Or bundler if you're using a bundler like Webpack or Vite or something like that. Just leave that set and you'll be in good shape. And yeah, like I said, you can create ESM and see CommonJS with either just by sort of changing your type in your package.json. Any questions about this one? Yes.
I'm a little confused. You described the module setting as changing the type of JavaScript that's emitted. Mm-hmm. What does it mean to emit bundler type JavaScript? Like, it makes sense that bundler would be a module resolution setting intuitively, but I don't really get what a bundler module setting means.
Yeah, so module is not, there is no bundler option for module. It's only for module resolution. So the options for module are, like I show here, like UMD, AMD, system, ESNext, which is like you're building ESM for the browser, Node.next, for example. There's a few others.
Yeah, but so if you recommend using the bundler setting and they both have to match, what does that mean if there's no such thing as a bundler module setting?
Yeah, that makes sense. I would say it sort of depends on where you're planning to deploy, right? So if you want code for the browser, maybe you want to use ESNext. If you want code for Node, you can use Node Next. But again, like if you use Node Next, then you have to use Node Next as your module resolution. You can also do, there's also other options like ES2020 is a pretty common module system for the module option. ES2022, basically like if you want to ship ESM, you would set probably ES2020 or 2022 with the bundler module resolution. But that's a good question.
Is your question, I think I have the same sort of similar question. It's not that they have to match. It's that now there will be an error if you have an invalid combination.
If you, it's
because they can't match because there's no
right.
module bundler.
So it's really, the caveat here is under recent Node.js settings. So this means if you're using Node Next or Node 16, they have to match.
Oh, okay. So they don't have to match. Okay, because they can't match because bundler is not a module setting.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So only, okay.
I should have made that clear. You're right. So this is only if you're using Node Next or Node 16, then you can't have a different module resolution that doesn't, that isn't Node 16 or Node Next.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.